Hello and welcome to a book haul. So, I went to a charity shop and surprise, surprise, I bought some books. I have 6 books and I will show you them and I will read you the backs and then I have something else to tell you. Okay, so let's get on with it. I have 6 books. First book is The Descent into Hell by Dante, and on the back it says, wandering through a dark forest, Dante finds himself at the gates to the underworld. Despite his terror, he dares to enter the circles of hell, where the damned lie in torment. As he descends deeper, he encounters wild-eyed sinners, sees the 3-headed, howling hound Cerberus, and meets a long-dead prophet who foretells Dante's destiny. He passes through realms of fire and ice, and at last reaches the frozen heart of hell, where the hideous Satan, greatest of all the damned, lies in wait. And I've never read anything by Dante, so I'm looking forward to this. And it's all written in verse. And I never read an actual story written in verse before, so that'll be interesting as well. Then I got The Ruby and the Smoke by Philip Pullman. This is a middle grade novel. And it says, Sally Lockhart is 16, an orphan, and she's just struck a man dead. Not with a weapon, though she has a pistol, and probably the heart to use it. Sally killed Mr. Higgs with just 3 words, the 7 blessings. Unfortunately, she still has no idea what they mean, and why her drowned father's colleague died of fear when he heard them. Sally only knows that she'll do anything, say anything, be anything to find out. A terrifying mystery filled with strange letters, rat-haunted streets, the deadly fumes of opium, and at the heart of it all, a jewel soaked in blood. So that sounds really interesting, and I'm looking forward to reading this. And there are more of these in the series. I don't know if you have to read them in order, but I don't think you do. Because there are also The Shadow in the North, The Tiger in the Well, and The Tin Princess. I then got Thieves Like Us by Stephen Cole. This was originally published as the Aztec Code, but they changed the title and the cover, and I prefer this one. And this says, Jonah's a genius at solving puzzles. He can decode anything. That's how he ended up in a whole lot of trouble. Nathaniel Coldheart is a debonair master criminal, recruiting teenagers with special talents, kids with no family, to miss them. He trains them as ruthless operatives to undertake the daring thefts he's planned. For the next assignment, his most dangerous yet, he needs someone with a completely new skill, someone who can help him crack the code behind a sinister legend. Perhaps it's time Jonah and Coldheart met. So that sounds really interesting. I'm looking forward to reading this. I don't think this has a sequel. I think it's a standalone. I am not sure. But also, the writing is humongous, so it'll be really easy to read. So I'm looking forward to that one. Then I got 2 books by J.P. Taylor. So I picked up Tertius, and this says, London is living through dark times, and Magnus Malachi, a magician, is closely guarding his latest money spinner, Tertius, a blind boy who can see into the future. But as Tertius's powers become known, others who seek to use them are drawn from the shadows. Jonah, a teenage highwayman, and his companion in crime Tara, Solomon, a crazed zealot who has bred a new series of species of giant flesh-eating locusts, and Lord Malpus, a keeper of mysterious powers. They all seek Tertius, but is he a force for good or evil? And can he ever rid himself of the dark spirit that torments his soul? So that sounds really interesting. I never read anything by J.P. Taylor, so I'm looking forward to this. And the second J.P. Taylor book I got is Vampire Labyrinth, Red Eye. And it says England 1940. Britain is entrenched in war with the Germans when young Jargo is evacuated from the Blitz bombings in London to the Yorkshire coast. With only the memory of his dead mother for comfort, Jargo is desperate to survive the war in some peace. But arriving at the hostile Strenshall Manor in the town of Whitby, he is confronted with cruel and frenzied locals, seemingly possessed by ancient stories of clannish retribution and sadistic horrors. The red-eye comet hovers fatefully over the town. People are being viciously killed. and Jargo's nights are spent as waking nightmares, darting through blood-stained and murderous streets. As shades of his past come rushing back to haunt him, Jargo must confront the truth of this town, the perilous and violent truth of the ancient vampires. So this is really interesting. This has a sequel out, which is called Dust to Blood. But this is the first in a series, and I'm looking forward to reading it. But it's quite a few pages, actually. It's about 400 pages, but it looks interesting. And the last book I have to show you is Ender's Game by Orson Scott Card. Now, everyone knows what this book is about, and if you've seen the movie, you know what the book is about. On the front it says, "At Battle School, fighting is compulsory." And I love this cover. I wanted to pick this up, but all the covers I found I didn't like, and then I saw this one, and I loved it, so I picked it up, and it was only 50p. And it says, Ender Wiggin is Battle School's latest recruit. His teachers reckon he could become a great leader, and they need one. A vast alien force is heading for Earth. Its mission, the annihilation of all human life. Ender could be our only hope. But first he must survive the most brutal military training program in the galaxy. And yeah, I saw the Ender's Game movie, and I loved it. I thought the guy who played Ender Wiggin was a bit weird, and not very good for the role, but I did like the movie, and I love science fiction, and I wanted to pick this up for ages. So I got it. And now I need to tell you something. Bear with me 1 second, I will be back. Hello. So, I was reading Fire and Flood by Victoria Scott, and I was loving it. I was on page like 120 or something. I was really getting into it because the main character, Teller, had just entered the Brimstone Bleed, the first round, and it was very interesting. And then a book arrived, which you probably would have seen in my last video, and that is Dorothy Must Die, which has an amazing design under the dust jacket, and the spine is gorgeous as well. But anyway, yeah, so this arrived in the post, and it was sitting on my bedside table while I was reading Fire and Flood, and I was like, I'm sorry, Victoria Scott, this one is calling to me. So I picked it up and I started reading it. I started reading it this morning, and I'm already on page 34, which is chapter 4, and I am loving it. It's fantastic. Yeah, so I thought I'd let you know that that has happened. So when I do my TBR jar video, because I put Dorothy Must Die in here. So when I do my TBR jar, if I pick Dorothy Must Die out of the hardback box, I will chuck it away and choose another one, because I'm reading this at the moment and it's fantastic, and I think I'm going to get through it really quickly. Although it is just over 450 pages, 452. But yeah, it's great, and apparently it's going to be a trilogy. And I know the prequel novella No Place Like Oz is out as an ebook, and unfortunately on the dust jacket it says only available as an ebook, which is annoying, because I think they should publish it in hardcover like they did with The Assassin's Blade by Sarah J. Maas. Yeah, I think they should do that. More publishers should do that, because why print a novella, a prequel novella especially, if you can't read it? That's just silly. So yeah, sorry Victoria Scott, but I am reading this at the moment. When I have finished this, I will go back to Fire and Flood, because I was loving it. There's no reason for me to put it down apart from the fact that I wanted to read this. Yeah, so when I finish this, I'll go back to Fire and Flood. And yeah, when I finish Fire and Flood, I'll do my TBR jar video. Okay, so that's all from me today. I hope you have a lovely day and enjoy your reading, because I'm going to go back to that, and I will see you soon. Goodbye.